Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat and welcome sa ating PTSOnline. Kuya Mike, niyo po sa araw na ito, we have a special guest with us today. It's been a roller coaster ride for 2020 and alam po natin yan, it's not only for us in the radio station but also for you out there, but also for our group. Specifically, ang ating pong representante ng Republika ng Pilipinas po dito, ang ating Consulate General in Hong Kong. And without further ado, I'd like to invite you, ito, returning OFW din po ito eh. Dahil dito ho nagmula ang kanyang career, being Vice Consul, and of course ngayon, returning OFW as the Consul General. Please welcome Raly Tejada. Sir, magandang gabi.
Magandang gabi po. Kuya Mike,
Yes.
noon pa man, magkakilala na tayo.
Yes.
At as you said, balik OFW po ako at kinararangal ko pong uli makapaglingkod sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Hong Kong.
Sir, it's been just to give ang mga kasama natin a brief idea on paano kayo nag-umpisa dito, di ba? You were fresh from DFA sa Manila.
Yes, I was a young Foreign Service officer and this was my first posting back in 2001. So I was sent here and then of course, as you know, pinadala ako in a matter of 1.5 years, pinadala ako sa Geneva, Switzerland.
Okay.
So somehow hindi ko na-finish yung aking posting dito.
Which was supposed to be how many years?
Of course, the usual 6 years dapat. Pero yun nga, 1.5 years lang. And pinadala ako sa Geneva where I finished my 6 years. So I'm really glad that I'm back and will be able to serve our kababayans here again in Hong Kong.
Well, from Vice Consul, you went from here, Geneva, and then saan po yung mga lugar na
And
napuntahan
I went
niyo ba?
back to Manila, and after Manila, I went to Vancouver.
Okay.
I stayed there for 2 years again, and then they sent me to Guangzhou.
Okay.
Oo.
Biglaan na naman yun.
Biglaan na naman because they needed somebody to run the office. So they chose me. As a good soldier, I always follow. So I was the head of office in Guangzhou. Katabi lang natin. And then after that, I went back to Manila. Stayed at Protocol where I was the executive director. And then after that, I was sent to Malaysia, sa Kuala Lumpur, where I was the deputy chief of mission. And then again, same old story. They needed somebody to run Hong Kong, and they saw me as a good candidate. So they asked me, can you please take over Hong Kong? Of course, gladly, with open arms. Of course, people here, were also glad to welcome me. And I'm happy. Like you, Kuya Mike, matagal na kitang kaibigan and matagal na tayo magkakilala. You know me from way back.
Yes.
And I'm very happy to be back again here in Hong Kong.
Sir, yung comparisons from the places that you went to, you went different places as you mentioned, how is it differ from Hong Kong talaga? Ikaw, you were here during the high time of Hong Kong as a Vice Consul, now during a pandemic.
Yes, malaking pagbabago. Hong Kong then was the usual freewheeling economic powerhouse that it was. Anything goes. Business as usual. Business was really rearing and very strong. Yung economic activity was at its height. Laking pagbabago ngayon dahil na rin sa pandemic, dahil na rin sa mga protesta. So actually, ito yung dalawang things that defines my posting here. Yung unang-una yung protesta nga nung dumating ako. Isang bagay na talagang nagulat ako. Hindi ko akalain na magkakaganon ng Hong Kong. Magkakaroon ng malaking protesta at in fact, yung Admiralty, yung Central, napupuno ng tao upang ipahayag nila yung kanilang damdamin. I respect that because that is a expression of kanilang kalayaan sa kanilang nararamdaman. At ngunit hindi ko akalain na aabot sa ganitong sitwasyon kung saan nagigpit na rin ang pamahalaan ng Hong Kong at nagkaroon ng national security law. But in another sense, nagkaroon naman ng katahimikan.
True.
Napigil ang mga yung mga nangyari noon, yung mga paninira ng mga komersyo, yung mga dangerous things that happened before while throwing Molotov cocktails in the streets, yung mga bagay na nakababahala na lubhang nakaapekto sa akin bilang leader ng konsulado Sapagkat every time merong protesta, ang nasa isip ko yung kapakanan ng mga Pilipino rito. Meron nga tayong nahuli, hindi ba?
Yes.
Ngunit siya naman ay nakalabas, so nakagaan po ng aking loob yun. Ngunit every time meron pong protesta talaga pong ako po ay laging nakamonitor at lagi pong nakaantabay upang kung sakasakali man makapagbigay ng tulong, makapagbigay ng gabay, ang pinaka-importante.
Well, from the protesta slash riot, tapos itong pandemya,
Yes.
parang hindi yata kayo, kumbaga, iniwasan ito
Well,
one after the other, and specifically nung tinanggal kayo doon sa Kuala Lumpur,
Oo.
tapos dinala po kayo dito. How has it been so far? I mean, napakabigat naman yata yun as being our leader dito po.
yes, it's not only been a roller coaster ride, it's like a bullet train na roller coaster. Ganun ko, but I'm up for it. Ito is something that I really cherish doing. Yung paninilbihan sa ating mga kababayan is something that is my passion. So hindi po naging mahirap yung pinagdaanan ko. Mahirap siya. Ngunit sa akin po, ito is something na kinararangal kong gawin. At as you know, Kuya Mike, anytime ako po'y madaling mahagilap.
That's very true.
Isang text mo lang, isang tawag mo lang, isang messenger mo lang. Ako po ay handang sumagot. Kahit ano pong tanong, walang maliit na tanong or concern sa akin. Lagi ko po sinasagot yan. At yun na nga nasabi mo, mula sa protesta, pandemic naman, well, I would say, proudly say na naka-respond naman tayo sa pangangailangan ng ating pamayanan dito sa Hong Kong.
Well, it's a testing time. We don't know what's going to happen in 2021. No? I know that you have certain things in place na may mga there's certain protocol na kailangan sundin, may mga arrangements na po kayo no in this situation. How are you implementing this sa ating mga kababayan? I mean, you're talking about 200 plus thousand Filipinos. In sabihin na natin, ilan ang workforce nyo? Less than, let's say, 200? Sabihin na natin?
Yes. Well, our workforce dito sa consulate is about 80, full strength.
So, full strength yun?
Oo.
And this is every day. Wala hong hinto ito. Walang hinto, Mike. In fact, how do you address this issue? Kasi maraming magtatanong diyan, ang dami nang kulang sa amin dito sa community. We need assistance from the consulate. How do you balance that out, sir?
As you know, napakaganda ng network natin dito bilang Filipino community. Hindi naman lang ito ginagawa namin dahil kami po ay nag-iisa. Alam po namin na ang network ng Filipino community ay napakalawak at napakalaki. And we leverage on that. Mula sa PTS show na inyong pinamumunuan hanggang sa mga diaryo, mga Filipino organizations at yung Filipino community as a whole ay talagang napakalawak, napaka-connected. At nandiyan din yung Facebook. So, isang sitwasyon lamang agad-agad na ilalathala natin. At kung anumang impormasyon na kailangang dalhin at malaman ng ating mga kababayan, nasasabi ka agad natin. So, bagamat 80 lamang kami or less, madali po namin nagagawa sapagkat nakita ko po yung pagtutulungan natin, pagkakaisa, at yung gabay ng konsulado, hindi po nawawala yan. Opo.
Well, ito na nga, sinasabi nga natin na there's more to come.
Yes.
And your term is still a long way to go. Ika nga. How do you envision 2021? Siyempre nakikipag-ugnayan din po kayo with the local government.
Yes.
We understand that in certain situations natin, from the protests to the pandemic now,
Yes.
hindi naman natin maiwasan na may mga tatanggal sa trabaho, mababawasan talaga yung bilang natin. But has the government of Hong Kong assured you that the numbers will still be maintained and there will be still workers that will be, kumbaga, employed in the future?
Sure. 2021, Mike, hopefully if things get better, lalago uli ang ating populasyon dito sa Hong Kong. Natural na magkakaroon ng tanggalan ng trabaho sapagkat walang komersyo walang business, mababa ang productivity at kokonti po ang mga tumatakbong negosyo ngayon. So, umaalis din po yung mga ibang Hong Kong people at yung mga expats umaalis din po. So nagtatanggal din po sila ng kanilang mga empleyado. So nakita po natin yung patuloy na pagbaba ng mga ating mga kababayan dito. Kung hindi ito kahulugan na ito'y magtutuloy-tuloy. Kung umayos lamang ang 2021, I believe na aakyat po uli ang numbers natin dito sapagkat si Madam Carrie Lam na po yung Chief Executive ng Hong Kong ang nagsabi sa akin nung siya'y kausap ko na they cherish yung ating presence dito sa Hong Kong. Kung hindi nga daw dahil sa atin, ang Hong Kong ay hindi magiging Hong Kong. Bakit? Dahil sa atin pong mga, hindi lang kasambahay, mga professionals na nagtrabaho dito sa Hong Kong, napapaunlad po natin ng Hong Kong by allowing the households like, yung mag-asawang Chinese that employ our kasambahays, they're able to work. And that increases yung productivity po ng Hong Kong sapagkat nakapagtrabaho po lahat. Ngayon, yung ating mga professionals naman, andyan sila sa entertainment, maraming architects tayo rito, maraming landscape artists. Entertainers, of course. Sa Disneyland na lang, kung pupunta ka, majority of our entertainers there are Filipinos. So talagang yung Hong Kong government, they really welcome us. We are very much welcome to work and live in Hong Kong. Mataas po ang pagturing sa atin. Even though we are a minority, mataas po ang pagturing ng Hong Kong government sa ating mga Pilipino dito.
Sir, in terms of two things na itatanong ko lang sa inyo. In the past time that you were taken off from Malaysia and brought here, and of course the pandemic and the riots, anong sa palagay nyo the best, personal your personal position? Ano yung sa palagay mo na naisip mo at that particular time? Ano ba naman to?
Oo.
Your personal opinion, sir, on that note. Hindi ka ba nahirapan na sabi mo, saan kaya ako kukuha ng lakas nito? Kasi syempre, these are testing times, di ba? We're only but human to feel this test. And we only have so much that we can give. Sir?
Alam mo, ang pinagkukunan ko ng lakas, number one, is the community. Wala na akong ibang magagawa kung nakikita ko ang community ay nangangailangan ng tulong ng konsulado. I mean, all out. I will go out of my way. I will do anything and everything that is needed so that, pangalagaan ko ang kapakanan ng ating mga kababayan dito sa Hong Kong. Nakikita mo naman yan, Mike. At talagang kahit anong oras, tumatakbo kami at available tayo. At pangalawa, Mike, yung ang ating mga kasama rito sa Hong Kong, dito sa aking opisina. I am so fortunate to have the best, colleagues. Mula kay DCG hanggang sa aking mga local hires dito, napakahusay po nila. Nung height of the pandemic, nung first wave, lahat tayo clueless on what to do. Some were saying we should close down. Many consulates, actually closed down.
That's right.
At, walang magagawa. Maski mismo yung Hong Kong government, they shut down some of the offices and only opened essential. So, ang sabi ko sa mga kasamahan natin, what do we do? Things are getting difficult. Operationally, ang hirap mag-open na ng office sapagkat maraming takot, maraming kabado. Ang situation is volatile, very uncertain. So sabi ko, anong gagawin natin? Ako naman ay nakikinig, Ang sabi nila, sir, kung tayo susuko, kung tayo ay magpo-fold up, yung mga kababayan natin saan tatakbo? See? So, these are the kind of people that really care about our kababayans. So, doon na lang, talagang naantig yung puso ko. So, I said, let's go. Laban tayo. Let's fight. Let's continue to have the office open. And Mike, alam mo na yan, we have been open continuously. We have never closed down.
True.
And we continue to offer our services sa ating mga kababayan since the pandemic started. We never closed down. That's one thing I'm proud about. And that's one thing that really uplifts my spirit. And kasama ko yung mga kudos to my officers and staff. They're all behind me. And they really, not only want to help, but nandun yung puso nila to really, give their all for the sake of our kababayans here.
Wow, amazing. Alam niyo po, that's where we tip our hat to you with kasi sabi mo nga kanina, you've mentioned it's not it's not only probably the Philippine Consulate, but
Yes.
also other consulates overseas probably have closed down too, to lessen the service because of social distancing and whatnot, and measures that have been in place by different governments all over the world. Now that it is the Christmas season,
Yes.
I do understand marami tayong pinagdadaanan, but we can't, as a predominantly Catholic nation and a Christian nation at that, with different, of course, religion o pananampalataya, Christmas has always been a significant place, a significant place in our history. What would your message be, sir?
Una-una, nandiyan ang Diyos, ano? Hindi siya nagpapabaya. He always look after us. You know, he looks after our well-being. Kami lamang naman po instrumento nito, ano? Kami po ay part ng overall scheme so that ang ating mga kababayan ay malagay sa maayos at malagay sa sa sitwasyon na hindi sila mapahamak. Ngayon, Christmas at merong pandemya. So nakikiusap po ako sa ating mga kababayan na, let's exercise a little bit of vigilance and caution sapagkat hindi po biro yung pandemya. Maaari tayo mag-gather, ngunit let's follow the government regulations on social distancing. Meaning, iwasan mo muna natin ang pagpa-party. Alam ko, ito ay part ng ating tradition. Mahirap pong iwasan na Christmas tapos walang party, walang pagsasama-sama, walang pagkain sa ngunit tingnan po natin kasi ang mangyayari, maaring a few hours of fun might mean a lifetime of regret. So please, sa mga kababayan natin sa Hong Kong, naintindihan ko po ang ating pangangailangan na magsaya, magbunyi, mag-rejoice sapagkat ito po ay araw ng kapanganakan ng ating ang ating Jesucristo. Ngunit isipin din po natin ang ating future. Ang ating mga kamag-anak sa Pilipinas umaasa po sa atin. Umaasa po sa atin ang ating bayan na patuloy po tayong makakatulong sa pagprogreso ng ating bayan. So yun lamang po. Let's be vigilant, let's be cautious, and we can still celebrate, but with a bit of care, sapagkat hindi lamang po naman ang ating kapakanan ng ating iniisip, kundi yung kapakanan din ng nakararami.
Nicely said, sir. Maraming salamat sa ating mga kasama na nanonood at kasama natin ngayong araw na ito. Sabi nga ng mensahe ng ating Consul General Raly Tejada, ang Kapaskuhan ay hindi lamang sa selebrasyon, paglagay po ng pagkain sa hapagkainan, at salo-salo. Ang Pasko ay ang ibig sabihin ay panalangin, at ang Pasko ay nasa ating mga puso. Maraming salamat po. Ito po ang PTS Online.